Congress is expected to vote as early as today on a deal to raise the nation's debt ceiling and cut the federal deficit. So it's time to check in with one of our congresspeople. On the newsline right now, we're joined by Congressman Joe Heck. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Kristen. How are you?
Doing well.
Congressman, were you briefed today, and are you going to be one of those troublesome new Republicans, or where are you going on this?
Well, we had a conference call last evening to go over the basic framework of the solution. I just got in this morning, read through the bill. I've got a couple questions on it that I hope to get answered. We have another meeting coming up at around 12:30 this afternoon Eastern Time. But here's the issue. It's time we hold Washington accountable. No more budget tricks, no more accounting gimmicks, no more empty promises. And on first glance, this bill seems to accomplish that. It's balanced. It's a fundamental structural change to how we're going to conduct business here in Washington. And I think the important thing is that it provides for real savings in today's spending, real controls on tomorrow's spending, and then real accountability for the future. So I hope that I'm able to get the questions I have answered at our meeting this afternoon, and then I'll be able to make an informed decision.
Y'all are playing this down to the wire, aren't you?
Well, I'd rather make sure that I was making an informed decision than a hasty decision. And we've got to get this right. We can't keep going on raising the debt limit without putting spending controls in place. Since the 1960s, there's been over 70 debt limit increases. None of them have ever been associated with a structural change in our spending. It's time to, stop the insanity. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, obviously, 70 debt limit increases, no changes in how we do things. It's time to stop the insanity and get our spending under control.
Congressman, a lot of Democrats are coming forward thinking that President Obama kind of caved a little bit to Republicans on this deal and that it favors Republicans. Do you guys think this is a win for you?
Well, I think it's a win for the American people because it starts to put in the structural changes necessary to rein in our debt. And at $14.3 trillion, we should never have reached the point where we are today, but we have. And now we've got to pay the bills that we've incurred. But moving forward, we have to cut up those credit cards and make sure we don't continue to mortgage the future of our children and our grandchildren.
Well, you've had a pretty exciting ride since you got up there, and in this particular case, you had to be feeling like, we want to accomplish these things, but at the same time, we can't be cutting off people's government checks. Well,
you're right. We've got to do this in a manner in which people that rely on their Social Security, on Medicare, aren't jeopardized, and I believe that this bill will do that. Like I said, once I get the couple of questions that I have after reading through the bill answered, I'll be able to make an informed decision, hoping that a vote occurs late this evening at the latest so that we can have it in place to make sure that we don't reach the point of default tomorrow.
I was a little disappointed at NBC last night. They did a special on the workings of Congress, which was fascinating. I didn't see them interview you, and they should have,
Well, I was busy working on bills, staying away from the limelight, but getting the job done.
Now, were you in that meeting? They did have one shot there of a meeting of a lot of incoming Republican congressmen meeting with Mr. Boehner and Mr. Cantor.
You know what? I came into that meeting a little bit late, and it was after the meeting started, and by that time they had already shooed the cameras out.
Have you been up to the Speaker's office?
I have. I've had meetings with the Speaker. There's, as a member of the steering committee, he certainly relies on those of us in the steering committee for discussion on policy issues. And we've had a small group of freshmen that he relies on for additional kind of keeping the pulse of what's going on in our class, and I'm fortunate to be included in that group.
I'll bet you could put your office about 6 times inside his, could you?
Yeah, more than 6.
Congressman Joe Heck, have a great day.